All right. What's up, the Gemstone Nook? Good to see you. Glad you're here. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ray. Taylor Made. What is up? Good to see you guys. Guys, if you don't know, my name is Ray. I don't like this fan here. Let's move this. I'm going to actually sit down, talk to you guys. Look at this. Look at this hydraulic action here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So, guys, good to see everybody. Just wanted to pop in and say, hey, thank you so much for the videos I learned. Yes, you're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. Um, if you guys have any questions, so I'm starting to do these weekly Q&A episodes, and a lot of you guys that are coming on here. Hey, Jules, good to see you. A lot of the Tennessee Card Guy, good to see you. Honey Pops, good to see you. So a lot of you guys that are on here are because of the YouTube videos that I've made about whatnot. So I just wanted to come on here and answer any of the questions that you may have here personally, one on one. Southern Middle Tennessee here. We're at like Spring Hill, Franklin, Brentwood area. Um, so yeah, if you have any whatnot questions, please ask them away. Tullahoma, nice. Ask them away. I'm fixing to drop a video. I was gonna drop it tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna wait till next week. It is looking for how to do your payout here on whatnot on your mobile and on the PC, because lately they have changed it on your mobile device. It took me like an hour to find it the other day, and I was like, man, this is dumb. I need to make a video showing you guys how to do it. So I have that dropping. I'm also going to do a revamp of the fees video that I did, or just a specific whatnot fees video, so you guys can have that information as well. But do me a favor, guys, if you're not already following, click the follow button, bookmark all of our shows. That would be great. But if you guys have any questions, let me know and I'll answer those to the best of your ability. So Patty Howe says, I sell vintage. If a person buys several things and goes over 5 pounds, whatnot changes it to ground advantage. It's sell vintage what? Like clothing? What vintage items are you looking for? I think I can't remember, vintage antiques, like glass. Like what do you mean? What's up, Joe? Good to see you. Or Nicole. Don't know who would be. Vintage glass. Okay. So I'm here. I forgot what the actual poundage is. I mean, it goes. I mean, you can set your item to 10 to 14 trays, dishes, etc. You can send your poundage up to like 10 to 14 pounds. Nicole has her own. Come on, right? Hey, just saying. But 10 to 14 pounds. So I don't understand your question. I don't like. So if you buy a lot of your antiques or whatever, if someone's buying multiple ones, they'll just group them all together and they'll just keep adding to the box. And anything over 5 pounds, I think, is a priority, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, let me know if that answered your question or not, or if I'm just completely discombobulated and made it more confusing than it is. Joe, if you're still watching, I didn't find any Pokemon cards. I went back and still struck out. So still going to be looking for some Pokemon cards. The new set dropped, so I'm going to be looking for those tomorrow. Um, but again, is it better to unbundle it over? No. Just keep everything bundled. Keep it all together, baby, because you end up saving money that way. And again, so you guys, I think Whatnot gives you 3 or 4, I can't remember how many shipping adjustments. So let's say you mess up the shipping and it costs way more than it's supposed to. You can change the shipping, and Whatnot doesn't charge you anything extra. I'm confused about picking weight versus flat rate or bundling. So I always weigh the item and then list it. Okay. weigh the item and list it. And if a person, I never do flat rate shipping on anything. Okay, so don't do flat rate shipping unless everything's gonna fit in like a number 7 like box, like a priority USPS box. So like for example, when I sell my Pokemon cards, I do a up to 945, and that's gonna fit in a box. And I know no matter how many Pokemon cards anybody's ever gonna buy, they're all going to fit in that box. So the buyer pays up to that, and it's never going to go up to that. So I wouldn't do I wouldn't do flat rate. I mean, depending on what you're selling, right? It always depends on what you're selling. And I always anything that I'm selling, I put individually the weight. So Whatnot calculates that weight, and you should never ever be buying shipping or paying more than Whatnot is supposed to. Okay? So don't you should never ever be doing that. If you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. I'm just going to put it out there. So if you're paying extra than what the buyer paid for the shipping, you're doing it wrong. So the buyer pays a lot more in shipping over 5 pounds. Hey, it is what it is, unless that's just the way that they do it. That's just the way that they do it. I mean, the buyer knows if you want to like maybe lessen the shipping rate and then have you pay it out of your own pocket or ship it some other way. You could do it that way, but I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it unless maybe just like a pound shirt, maybe drop it down a little bit, and then they can save money that way. But I wouldn't change it at all. Found you on YouTube videos. Yes, thank you so much. Ken, if you're available, give me a thumbs up, and I'll add you as a co-host, and we can answer these questions together. Found you in a YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. Shipping is the bit. It's not hard. It's not hard, guys. It's not hard at all. So, and I'm not criticizing you at all, Jules. So all you have to do is weigh the item that you're selling, list it here on Whatnot, and if it sells, Whatnot will do his thing, and you're good to go. The buyer pays, and you as a seller have to pay. No, you don't. Sorry, I joined the stream. So yeah, no. If you have, I mean, it depends. If you have it to where you pay the shipping, of course you have to pay the shipping. But I always charge shipping for the buyers. Always, 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 always. So yeah. Let me add my boy Ken here. Shout out to SSK promos here. So how do you bundle, or does Whatnot Whatnot does that automatically for you? Whatnot does that automatically for you. So guys, if you don't know, this is my boy Ken SSK promo. He is a seller here on Whatnot. Ken sells about everything, right, Ken?
Yes.
Seasonal Santa, so Christmas time Ken is actually a Santa Claus, and is selling Christmas stuff. So, Ken, I know we're going to be answering these questions together. I've
Sure.
started doing these every Thursday because I get a lot of YouTube comments from the videos that I make. And so I
Yes.
thought this would be a good opportunity to answer these questions live. So, someone had a question, as you can see, how do you bundle, or does Whatnot do it automatically?
Whatnot
I'll
does
let you
that
answer that, Ken.
automatically. They have what they call their smart bundle feature. If a person buys multiple items, it will. It doesn't always work perfectly, but it will try to bundle them up to a certain weight automatically. And then, you might have multiple shipments to the same person if they have done if they have ordered enough items. But yeah, you don't have to worry about bundling. Uh, Unbundling is also a great feature. If all of those
Correct.
items don't fit into one package, because Whatnot doesn't always know the size, they just know the weights if you're putting them in. And so unbundling is a great feature to, and then you have those 5 adjustments each week, and you can use one of those adjustments to unbundle package stuff,
Mhm.
securely,
How
and
many is it? 5 each week, right? I couldn't remember what it
5 each
was. I
week.
rarely use it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I very
Yeah.
rarely
Here's
use
another
adjustments
here's
either.
another question, Ken. So Jules says, "Hey Jules says, I do weigh each item takes me a long time to list things. So some of the things that I like to do, Jules, especially with my Pokemon cards, if you're selling a lot of the things that weigh similar, you just make one listing and then hit the weight and put the quantity of that one listing. But when it sells, you have to keep track of it. So let's say you have 100 of these garbage pail kid cards, okay? Just an example. And they all weigh the same and they all sell. So when one sell, you'll put a quantity of 100. When the first one sells, they'll say number one. Just make sure you write number one or something and keep track of it. So when you ship it, you know exactly which one you sold. So that's a good way to not having to list a bunch of stuff, just list like similar things. And if you go
Yeah.
through a lot of the people that are doing now and whatnot, they'll say small item with a certain weight class, medium item with a certain weight class, large item with a certain weight class, extra large item with a certain weight class, just so they don't have to keep listing things one at a time. Now, I like to list things one at a time.
Yeah.
I do it throughout the week if you have, a big show at the end of the week. Just so for me, it's easier to keep track of everything. But and the way that I do it, like if I know what I'm going to sell at the end of the week, I take two pictures. I take a picture of the item and I take a picture of the item on the scale. And so throughout the week, when I'm listing stuff on whatnot,
Yeah.
I'm just know exactly what it is, and I could be doing it, you know, in a line at Wendy's or at the DMV or waiting for my wife to come back out of the grocery store, like different things like that, just to save time. So, what do you think, Ken?
Yeah, agreed. If you're doing a random poll show, or if your items are, like I said, if you're doing all Pokemon or all, something that's very similar, there's two schools of thought to whether you're just doing random polls or whether you're listing all the items, and that's kind of a whole another topic. And Patty is saying, yeah, shipping profiles is another good way. I'm actually just working with trying to set up some shipping profiles myself.
Gotcha, gotcha. I see. Sorry, the gemstone nook. It's not hard once you figure it out. If you can fit everything into a flat rate or not. If you just do priority or ground, it would be by the weight. There you go. So shout out to SSK promo. Okay, I had a seller ask if I bundle. Okay, hello, what's going on, Mike? Good to see you. Don't list things separately. You can. You can. It just depends on what you have. How
Yeah,
do you get a label maker? So it's not a label make. Well, it's a don't call it a label maker. It does make labels, but it's a thermal printer. That's what you're gonna use. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys a crazy, and I'm gonna tag my girl Kristen on this. A real squirrel. So
yeah,
there we go. So Kristen, a real squirrel, she has it in with a thermal label printer company called Jaden's. And if you use the
mhm,
code Squirrel Squad, it's going to give you 15% off of your label printer that you order. Okay. So your label printer doesn't use any ink. I actually have two. I have a Rolo at my office, and I have one that I bought, a Bluetooth one that I bought out at Walmart. So I'll give you what it looks like. So this is my label printer right here. It's a Bluetooth
yeah,
label printer that I bought at Walmart, and you can buy the labels as well on Walmart. And so that's what I use here in my home office. And you don't have to buy like a fancy like I did make. I don't want to say I made the mistake, but I bought a Rolo just because it's like the name brand when I first started reselling, and it's perfect. But all the other ones they work exactly the same. Do you
yeah.
which one do you have,
I have
Ken?
two of them. I actually have both of them are Rolos, but I just bought one for Jill, which was like an LP range. It's a Bluetooth model, but yeah, I see that they're asking what's the website called. If you go to Jaden's, their Honey Pops put in there Jadens. Jaden's, they have a whole line of different printers, and you can buy labels from there. And yeah, use that code Squirrel Squad, and you're going to
Squirrel
save
Squad.
on a printer there. But yeah, they're readily available on Amazon. And like I say, you bought yours at Walmart. So, but
Yeah,
it is
you can get them at Walmart.
an absolute game changer. I would not I would not even get into it without having a scale, a good
Correct.
scale, and a thermal label printer. It's not necessary. You can
I would venture to say it's necessary, Ken. Before you buy anything else for the business, the first thing you need to buy is a label printer, because if you're using your like your regular printer, once you use up the first ink cartridges, the ink cartridge, you're like, man,
yeah.
I should have went ahead and
Well,
because
it's cutting the labels out and taping them on. That is
oh,
just an absolute pain. Um, and they said, what scale do you use? Ton I use, I think one is called like an Accutech or something. You can get a scale for 25, $30 on Amazon. Uh, you can get them anywhere.
what up, Paul?
Um, what's up, Paul? There's
I heard him. He did fart. Show you a process of like start to finish of what? Give us ready to ship out type. Like give me an example. Like listing an item. Let us know. Let us know after it gets bought. That's a great. I do have a video that shows you that. It's on my YouTube channel. It's like the first time I bought anything, but I think I can do this. But let me see. Let me see if I can do this or not. What's YouTube? I hear you. So, um, if you guys can see my computer
What's up,
screen, I hope
Susan?
that you guys can see that. So, is that your cousin Susan?
Yes, Allegheny Roots.
Oh, nice. So, okay, so check this out. So I'm here on my whatnot, and I'm going to my ship. So I guess I can do this for. Let's go back. So this is, on your computer, right? And so you're going to go up here, and you're going to go to your shipments. Whenever you sell something, you'll have it on here, right? And then it's going to say the shows that you have. It's going to show all your shipments. So for this reason, I'll pull an old show with the orders, right? So this is what you're going to see when you need to fulfill your orders, right? And so I always like to sort from the largest items just so I can get all the big ones out of the way. And then this is the person that purchased it, and then these are the items. So again, um, at the time I just sold Pokemon packs, and as you can see, they're numbered. So I had all the packs numbered, and so I just put them all together. And then when I have them all together, I click on the name. I go over here to the right hand side, and then I go to print shipping label, and then it's going to show you the packing slip. I usually don't put a packing slip on recurring customers. That could be different from you, Ken, but
Yeah,
there is the label, and I'll even print it off for you. I'll go to print, and again, I only print I'll print off the whole thing, and I'll just hit print,
I am,
and look
Paul.
at this, ready to rock
Very
and roll,
simple. Yeah, shipping
ready to
is
rock and
not
roll.
as difficult. I'm still working through, different things with, you know, strategies for shipping, but it shouldn't be the scary thing that keeps you from doing whatnot.
It's easier. And guys, if you want more in-depth knowledge on how to do this, follow my boy Philly Flipper, Paula Philly Flipper. He has Q&A shows every Sunday morning, Tuesday morning. When is
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe.
Tuesdays
Tuesday,
and
Thursday,
Thursdays and
Sunday, maybe.
Sundays, right?
Yes.
Let us know, Paul. So, all right. How can I keep the original price on items that I have in my inventory and have a bid price for bidding? What do you mean?
The original price. Are
Like
you
the price that
talking
you purchased, like your cost of goods price, eBay. I don't know if that's your question or not. Let us know. Do you have a UPS account? I don't have a UPS account. You don't need a UPS account because Whatnot will ship the stuff via USPS. I do have a USPS account that you can set up for free, and that's where I get all my shipping supplies because USPS
Yeah.
can give you free shipping supplies as long as you ship out with priority mail. And that is an option here on Whatnot that you can do it. Tuesdays and Thursdays are Q&A, Sundays are gotcha. So, no, what's um yeah, what's your I don't know your question there, eBay. How can I keep the original price that I have in my inventory and have a bid price for bidding? Is that possible? Let us know. The price that I have for purchasing now and a smaller price for bidding. You can so you can put something
Yeah.
in your buy it now, right?
Yeah.
Ken?
In the marketplace part, I think that's what she's saying. She has it
Yeah.
in
So
the
you can put
in,
something in the buy it now. She's asking how and you can transfer it into the auction and then when you transfer it, you can change the price.
yes.
You can
You'd have
change
to
the price.
manually do that, change the price to have a
Exactly.
starting bid. And then if you were going to put that back into your marketplace after a show, you would go to your inventory and it depends on whether you check that little tick box of only have it on a live or whether it's in your marketplace. But yeah, it's a simple process, but it is manual to change the price.
Yeah. I'm gonna do an example right now. I'm adding something into the buy it now.
Yeah, there we go. Paul is saying you can also just click run as an auction, and if it doesn't sell, it will go back to the bin.
There you go.
So, but that would be at that. If you run it as an auction, I assume you can change the price right there. I have not done that directly out of the bin. I'm always using it. Yeah, great tip. Great tip.
Yeah. So I just created. There is a item in the buy it now called Ken's Sexy Legs. It is currently $100. All right. So Ken's Sexy Legs is $100. So I'm gonna move that. So if I click on the little three dots over, I'm gonna do run as auction, and then from there it gives you starting bid and then the time, the requirement, and so I can hit start auction. So right now Ken's Sexy Legs is running for $99 instead of $100 for 30 seconds. Super easy to do. So that's not much of a savings. Hey, Ken's Sexy Legs aren't, that's a one of the
I,
things that I really like the new flash feature that you can do on here. So you can put something in the buy it now at one price. So if I had a lot of Ken's Sexy Legs, like if he was a centipede or something like that, that I have a lot of, I can hit a flash feature and sell them at a discounted price of like $50. So there you go.
yeah, I
Runs
like the
multiple
I like
items.
the
Yeah,
flash
it
sale.
runs as many at one price at one time, and people can just buy them at that one price. It's not an auction; it's just a flash sale. So
Yes,
it's super
I
cool.
love that feature.
Yeah, it's super
Some
cool. I
people
love it a
just
lot.
run shows of flash sales. That's all they're doing. They have those items up there, and their whole show is running a flash sale. It's not like that individual bid on an item, and those shows can be really fun, especially if you
Yeah,
have for the seller if you have multiple items.
Paul, what items were you selling, and what was the buy it now price, and what did you sell it for? So I haven't tried flash sale yet. It's great when you have multiple of one item. I love it. So like when I sell my Pokemon cards and I have a lot of those Pokemon packs and I want to sell them at one price, just boom. Jewelry and toys and stuff did 50% off. So there you go. 600 items in 10 minutes, guys. That's incredible. So if it's 10, it became 5. If it's 6, it became 3. That's amazing. That's amazing. So think about that, guys. Think about that. Where can you do that to where
Yeah.
it's like right now? Let's get it going. Let's get it going. So payout was over 2K. I just,
Nice.
yeah. I don't think people really understand the power of whatnot yet. They don't understand it, and it's driving me nuts. It's driving me absolutely nuts. And people complain and they're like, "Oh, it's too hard," or "I don't think I want to, get on it." I'm like, dude, it's worth it. It's worth the grind. You're not going to be, not all, everyone's going to be successful right off the bat, but it's worth you putting in the effort. It's worth it. It's worth it. So my boy Paul over here, he quit eBay and just became a full-time whatnot seller. Think about that. And he's making way more money than he was. What was your I know that you did video, Paul, of you were gonna reach, you wanted to reach 100K, right?
Yeah, he just reached 40K here like earlier this week
Yeah.
or something like that. 40,000 followers. That's incredible.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the amount, like the dollar amount, Ken.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's
I
going for
Well, see, eBay, not all items have to be the same size, the same color. Like Paul did 50% off everything in the bin. So people just went in there and just started purchasing everything at 50% off. So explain flash sale. So flash sale is when you have something and you buy it now that you want to run a sale on, and it's usually good when you have multiple quantities of one item, and it gives it like a discounted, and it gives you like a rate. So I'll do an example, okay?
yeah.
So I'm in the buy it now. I'm adding a new item, and I'll put let's see, Ken. What else is sexy on you though? I can put on here.
This a family show, right? Uh
Yes.
yeah. Oh, my headshots are sexy. You can do Ken sexy headshots.
Oh, and I got the perfect picture for you.
My bald head. Yep. Yeah, the opportunities are endless on whatnot. Um, eBay said I am new and boy, I can't even get more than two people in.
Two people in what?
Consistently, two people in the show, I would assume.
Okay, so you have to
It's
enable the flash sale, right? When you put in the buy it now, and then it gives you a percentage off or a price off. So you can do either or. So and then you can change the percentage. So I'm gonna do 50%, 30 seconds, and I'm just gonna do £1. Publish. So if you look at my buy it now currently right now, you see Ken's headshot. Okay. Ken's headshot, 100 quantity. So I'm gonna run. Can I run this? Is it already on flash sale? So I
it
can
is
start
flash
flash
sale.
sale. Nobody buy anything. No, don't hit the buy. Okay. So it says 99 was the original price. I got it down to 49.50. So that's 50% off, and I can hit start flash sale. And you can see right there 30 seconds, and anybody can just purchase as many of them as they want at a discounted rate. So if you have multiple ones. So it's a good example, right, Ken?
Yes, yeah, that's a good, and then that so they can see that's how it shows up on the screen. Therefore, the people they're seeing the
Mhm.
item, they're seeing the flash sale. It's 50% off, and then it's just based on how long you want to run it. Um,
I don't know what.
yeah,
Tell us about your guys' first streaming show. I don't know what that. I don't know what you're alluding to. Goal for the year was $250,000, but I'm on pace to hit 400,000. Think about that, guys. Think about that. Almost $500,000 selling on.
on whatnot.
Uh,
That's amazing.
yeah. What do you sell eBay? I'm curious.
Selling junk.
What a deal. Thank you for a wow. I'm curious what you sell eBay because I'm gonna tell you right now, like it's not for everybody. What do you think, Ken? It could be
Uh,
if you're willing to
yeah,
put in the effort.
it could be. It is. You have to put in the effort. You have to be consistent. You have to get out. You have to be engaging in other people's shows. You have to be in these chats. You have to ask the questions. You have to bring good items. If you are, Paul says, "Oh, he's on here selling junk, making 400K." No, he's selling good items, and those items are you got to sell items that people want. You got to sell items that are good quality. If you are just trying to get rid of your eBay junk that's not selling, that's not going to
Correct.
work. Now, you also, if you're doing storage units, if you do storage unit sort of stuff, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff, but if you're not cherry picking those good items out and you're selling those right along with the average common everyday items, you're going to grow. It takes time. It's not an overnight thing at all. All brand new. They're selling.
Nice.
Uh,
Rolex watch. Dang, son. That's crazy. So I know most of the time, people say, well, it's not junk. But you have to remember, I knew one of the first things that I came across just by being a reseller, even before doing whatnot, just selling on eBay, just because you think that it's valuable or you think it's cool or you think that someone's gonna buy it because you think it is or you like it, doesn't mean that that's what the people want. So that's like kind of
yeah.
like a rude awakening. You're like you buy these like cool Nike shoes and you're like, oh man, even though they're cool Nike shoes, no one's going to want them because nobody wants them. You might want them, but
Well,
why are you
Diddle
scared to do your
Sandbell,
first live?
so scared. Yeah, it can be scary. What I would recommend, if you haven't done that, is do a private show. Do a private show first, where you can just invite a few friends. It only goes out on that link. And do practice. You can learn where the buttons are, how to start a sale, how to do stuff, and that will make you a little more confident when you do your
In the
when you
champagne room,
actually
right,
go
Paul?
live.
Yeah. eBay, it sounds like you have some great stuff.
Yes.
You know what, Ken? This would be a good idea. I don't know, Paul, if you do this or not, but I almost want to start a raid train for just new people and get people like maybe like have like a mix of like if I go and then like a new person, then like you go and then
Yeah,
like a new
those are
person.
those are out there. There are raid trains that are for doing a raid train as your very first show. Maybe not recommended, but if you've got a couple of shows under your belt and you feel confident, you've watched other raid trains. Um, yeah, there are raid trains out there for new sellers.
Yeah, follow Cassandra right there. Click on her name. Follow Cassandra.
Yes, I was trying to think of who does that, and she does that. She helps spotlight and helps get new sellers out there. And when you're on that raid train, you're probably going to have a little more of an audience than what you do. You said you had trouble getting people in your room. Um, s- it's on a raid train, you're going to get a bigger audience for that first time. And when you get that audience, you got to hook them. You got to show your
Oh, that's good,
personality.
Paul.
You've got to show your items. You've got to bring really good stuff and have the confidence when you're selling. If you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, this community is very good at being supportive and they can understand we don't all have stellar shows. We struggle sometimes, especially when
Facts.
you're new. And the people in the chat will help you. I know when I first started, I would just ask the chat, hey, can somebody tell me how I do this? and people, love to pass along that knowledge and help you out, and then you can move along, and you just build confidence with shows.
I might start. Let me know if this is a good idea for everybody, just to keep, because I do want to do a raid train like that to help new sellers. I think that would be a great idea. But to keep everything organized, I think I want to start a Facebook group. So if you guys are into that, let me know, and I can make a YouTube video and then drop all the links, all that stuff, and then go from there, just to keep everything organized. I would think so. Just a thought. I would be down for that.
Yeah,
I'm
great idea.
into Facebook. Raid trains are awesome. Okay, so I think next week I'll create it. We can work something out. So, or do a group chat on here. Well, that would be, no. I can't be any more group chats. I'm sorry. So so many group chats. So what? Yeah. My hubby died and left me 3 houses of collections he was collecting. This selling thing was his thing. There's so much stuff. This would be a great. Well, first of all, sorry for your loss. I'm sure that's hard to sell all of
Yeah.
his stuff. Um, my recommendation is either you do it here or find somebody that does what he did, like a friend or somebody that he knew that that created like a relationship with him, and ask if they want to buy his stuff like at a percentage. Can we make a Skype group? I wouldn't mind doing like a like a StreamYard, or like a, what do they call it? Zooms?
Like a Zoom or a StreamYard. Yeah.
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 So Ken and I were actually, we were part of a podcast today on our podcast, my podcast, This Week in Reselling, and we had the girls of Consignment Chats on, and what they do, you can join their Patreon, and they have a every day they have a motivational minutes where you can go on live and they talk about reselling and get you guys motivated for the day. And you can even, there's a 24-hour listing Zoom. So whenever you're like available, there's a Zoom going on where you can chat with other people that are listing at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you want more information about that, let me know. We can send you the all that information. Just it kind of helps you keep like accountability. And I think they need to have like a whatnot person on there. So
Yes.
I do see they do. I've been hacked so many times on Facebook. You just got to make sure you don't click on the wrong things, eBay. I would like the Zoom info. Yeah, I'll hit you up. Hit me up. It's Consignment Chat on everything, Instagram or whatever. Consignment Chat on everything. eBay was so not on my side. That's why I came here.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me about it. I would love to hear it. So I just dumped Facebook. Well, maybe we'll do something. We'll do something. Maybe a Patreon or something like that, or we can
Yeah.
or something. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So we're coming to Nashville next month. Nice. Make sure you eat some hot chicken. So eBay isn't the best place to sell. It depends on what you want to sell. It depends on what you want. It's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Ken does both, but Ken
Yes.
also cleans out storage units, so he needs to move that inventory fast. So
Yeah.
let's see. Please let you know. We'll let you know. I used to be local marketplace. Okay. What about Grailed or Stock? Those are all great places. It depends on what you're selling, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there again, if you take, I do a combination of both. I sell my static listings, I sell stuff on eBay, and then I also sell on Whatnot. Um, but you take a person like Paul Philly Flipper that's in here, that he is straight Whatnot now. He has basically gone totally away from eBay, and all of those items that he used to put on eBay, all the good stuff, he's bringing to Whatnot, and he's making a profit. As long as you're selling items, I talk about that a lot. As long as you're selling items at a profit, it's profit. Um, and it depends on your reasons for selling. I do this full time. Ray, you do it part time. Paul is also a full time seller. This is how I keep the electric on and how I put food in my belly. Um, so I have to move items. I have to sell items. Um, and whether you're selling them at a higher amount on, say, like an eBay, or whether you're selling them at a little bit of a discounted rate on Whatnot, it makes a difference. What the saying I always say is, being full time, there's a difference between leaving money on the table and putting food on the table. I need to
Mm.
put food on the table, and so I'll take a little less on a Whatnot than I would on, if I could sell it on eBay. But on Whatnot, I run a show and I'm probably going to sell it right then. Like that night, that day, I have my instant payout because I have over my 1,000 sales. I'm going to get paid right then. Where I might list that on eBay and it might be there a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, a year. It just depends on the item. This one, um, the Whatnot, that's where I was first intrigued and why I got into Whatnot. With watching Paul on YouTube, he would go out to the yard sales in the morning, on a Friday morning, on a Saturday morning. He would show those items. He would come to Whatnot in the evening and sell everything he bought that day. No death pile, no, and he's making profit on those. It's the live selling is just, I don't know. I'm rambling now. I'm rambling.
I mean, I love it. Like I always say the saying, Coca-Cola didn't become a billionaire by selling one Coke for $1 billion. They sold you know, a billion Cokes for $1. You know what I mean? So like the
Yes.
money adds up for sure. So let's see here. Little money adds up. Kraft mac and cheese isn't going to buy it. That's right. What's Ken's
Yes.
username? SSK promo. That's his username. When you have a show this week, Ken?
I'm not sure. I have one scheduled for tomorrow night. We usually do Fridays at 6 p.m. But I believe I've got some stuff going on tomorrow, so I think I'm gonna move that. Um, just prior stuff going on and trying to get some things
Yeah. I think I may
done.
move my Saturday shows to Friday also. Or maybe. I don't well, if you have your shows on Friday, I don't want to bump you. Or move them up because I want to just have my Fridays free or my Saturdays free. And again,
Yeah,
I'm bumping up into Paul's shows, so just kind of figuring that out as well. I'm selling these things to help my situation. eBay took $200 in fees. What do you mean? How do they take $200 in fees? They don't just take it. The guy on top, I saw more of your videos, and that made me want to try. What? Yeah, man, let's do it. My name's Ray, by the way. Nashville Flippers here. So believe it or not, there's still death pile. I like it. What's better, sudden death or regular bidding? It depends on what it is, right?
yeah. Depends on the show, on the items that you're selling, how many items you need to get through in a show. If you got a whole bunch, you're trying to move 300 items in a night, doing regular bidding is going to really take a long time. So that sudden death does build a lot of hype, get the people going, get them excited. Again, that a lot of that has to do with your personality, what you're selling, your personality. If you can get that hype going and get that sudden death, and um yeah, it can really work out. You can move through a lot of stuff really quick.
I don't understand how you lost $200 in fees. I mean, if you sold the item, there's a fee taken out for sure. But eBay, I know that again, this is a selling app. So maybe you explaining what a lab grown diamond is compared to like a regular diamond. Like you can say something like you don't know if the real diamonds are conflict free. Like this is for sure conflict free, and like just educate people and go from there. Like you have to sell it, right, Ken? Like if like
Yes.
like people like if people are knowledgeable on a subject by just the way that they're selling it, and they
Yeah.
have to be passionate about it. And it sounds like you're passionate about jewelry and lab grown diamonds, so just explaining to the person that it's like, hey guys, this is what it is, and for you to sell a diamond on here is insane. So
Yeah.
I'm just
It
curious to know
kind of
like how much you sold it for.
it kind of sounds like the buyer pulled the old INAD, item not as described thing, and eBay
Bro,
has a
I sold it
tendency
for
to.
$800 on auction. I guess it didn't know what box to tick. They even charged me for some old bold lettering. Dang. I don't know. Yeah, you definitely did something wrong. I don't think they scammed
Yeah.
you. Yeah, you just did something wrong. You probably promoted it at a crazy price, cuz I mean, at last that I remember on eBay, it's like what? It's probably like around 50 after everything like 15% fees, right? No promotions or anything like that. So, the buyer said the item was not as advertised. So, yeah, you'll get that.
Yeah. Yeah. And eBay,
You
that I
should have
mean
got
that
your money
again,
back, right? If they returned it.
sometimes that whole thing works out with eBay where the they item not as described and they side with them, and you kind of get punked on some things, which again, that's one of the reasons that Paul went away from eBay is there can be a whole lot more problems and a lot more issues. There can be. I'm not saying that there is. I still sell
Mhm.
on eBay myself, and I've always had great success. Um, but
Dibbles, you
yeah,
should call them back because they shouldn't charge you the fees if
yeah,
you get all that stuff. Yeah. Have you ever had that happen where they can give them like you should have got a refund, right?
yeah, yeah. Didn't get and still didn't get the knife bite. Yeah, it's yeah, people that are just dishonest. That's just drives me nuts. That's a whole different
I think
topic on a whole different
especially if they
platform.
know they could probably I hate to say this, but they probably figured out that you probably didn't really know what was going on, and they just completely took advantage of you.
That could be.
Yeah, a mechanic as a woman. I feel like this to be a mechanic as yeah, I can see that. Um, Someone said something about returns. How do you deal with returns or bad buyers trying to scam you? You shipped it here on whatnot. Let us know. One up promoted me at $25 an hour the other night. When the show was over, they charged me $60, but they reversed it the next day with see, there you go. I have never had a problem with whatnot at all. Like they've always helped, you know,
Yeah,
like they want, bad buyers like here on whatnot. I'm curious, or on eBay. Is whatnot more sell? Yes, I think so. I think
I
so.
would agree. I would agree.
But usually, like when people are selling stuff here live, it's like almost like a binding contract at an auction. Like you buy it, you know what you're getting. Like it's almost
Yes.
like all sales are final, unless there's something like so super crazy. Like for instance, like I sold a drone on here for like $400, and somehow the controller and the drones was not syncing correctly, and instead of refunding him, we just worked it out. I had to like contact DJI to get them to like release the drone to be able to connect. It was work, but I wanted to keep my $400. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I had people through, and I usually have about 30. I have 900 people through, and I usually have. I don't understand that question. What do you use? My hoe style or my Tahoe style? Oh, when not promote. Okay, the promotion. Okay. Any tips for my first live for coming week? How do I even get people on the show? I mean, doing stuff like this, hitting the promoting. Oh, one thing that you can do for sure, and I don't know if you noticed this or not, Ken, is doing giveaways. I know it. Like when I first started, I said I'm not going to give anything away for free, but somehow the algorithm here on whatnot, if you're doing a giveaway, you have like this random surge of people that come in and they can follow you. And then, as bad as that sounds, you have to give stuff away for free to be able to get pushed in the algorithm. That's been my experience. I don't know if that's your experience.
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of differ in that. I don't do a lot of giveaways unless I am required to, like if I'm on a raid train or something like that, and they require you to do a giveaway. Um, I know that people will search through. They'll just search through. They'll pop in a
Yeah.
show. Are they doing a giveaway? Nope. Boom. They giveaway. People
The
do that. I don't.
giveaway goblins.
I would. Yeah, the givey goblins. Um I would rather run if I get like a raid or I have people coming in to the show. I would rather run a good item at a lower price to show people, hey, I've got good stuff. You can get these at a good price rather than doing a giveaway. And it depends on the situation and what I'm doing. Um, we will do buyers giveaways. We will do regular giveaways from time to time, but I don't make it a regular practice.
Yeah. I always like to do giveaways on my show just because I feel like the algorithm helps it. But be smart with what you're giving away. So remember that you're going to have to pay for the shipping on that. And so be smart.
Yes.
Like don't give away like a basketball or something stupid, but give away something small that you can fit like even like in a white
Yeah.
envelope. Like I always do gift cards, like cheap gift cards, $2, $3, $5. And you can put that in a white envelope and it'll be like an ounce, 2 ounces, and it's like whatever a letter costs to get mailed. So you're not
Yes.
spending a ton of money to ship that item off. So you gotta be smart. Gotta be smart. So let's see here. Someone did that to me, but I had the video showing everything that was done. Whatnot agreed with me, but also refunded her because, see, I'm telling you, Whatnot takes care of their people. They gave back my high rating, but it upset me that she was able to keep the item and get a refund. That's just I do that sometimes. Like if I know there's something wrong with the item, that when they get it or broke in transit, I'm like, keep it. Here's the refund, and it's just the good business, and just
Yeah.
mark it as a loss. So, do we keep the money if they do that? Do what? Wins and losses. Never. Yeah, it's just the way. It's just the way it is. Just refund them,
Yep.
and especially, but if it's like that $400 drone, then it's like, okay, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure this out. You know, you could
Yeah.
ban them
Just
for sure.
good customer service. When you're selling your items, just be open and fair and honest. If there's a flaw in it, if there's a break, a chip, a crack, a stain, a rip, a hole, a tear, show that. And hint, tip, or suggestion: show that before you start running the timer on the auction.
Correct.
How many times I've seen people say doing a graphic T-shirt or something like that, and they're showing it, and they start the bidding, and the people are bidding, and then they go, "Oh, and on the back here, there's a hole, or there's a big stain under the armpit." It's like, well, you've already got bidders bidding on this item, and then you're showing the
Yeah.
flaw. Show that stuff up front. You are going to have more customers that are going to buy your items and that are going to come back to your shows when they receive your package and it is what they expected it to be. And there's no surprises. Just be don't ever try to get one over on a customer.
Correct. Yeah. Don't be a scumbag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Show the
simple.
flaws. And if there's anything wrong with it and they try to refund it, you're like, hey, the really cool thing about Whatnot also, they do a video receipt that you can find it when you're shipping stuff out, and
Yeah.
it'll go directly to where you were selling that item. And so there's all that transparency in the world. You're like, all right, I showed the hole before I started the bid, and here it is. There's no reason for me to refund you.
Yes. Exactly.
So other things you would say are a must or a must not for the first live. Um, I would say do giveaways, or just I wouldn't even like I might even do 2 or 3 lives before you even start selling anything, just to get people like, you know what I mean? Just like, even if they don't come to the show, even if one person comes to that show, just be like, call out the name, be like, Doll Shop '06. I really appreciate you coming on. My name is, like a preview show on this day in 2 weeks. I'm going to be selling all these knives. It's like, I really would appreciate if you come on here. Let me show you the knives. Make sure to bookmark the show, and then you get people like interested and get bookmarks and, doing all that stuff. So,
Yeah. It's things to do. Be prepared for the show. Make sure that you have all of your items there. I would recommend listing all of your items that you were going to do in that show rather than just doing a random poll for the first show. So you're not kind of stumbling through things. Um,
correct.
just be engaging, be on the screen. There's nothing more like when I go to somebody's whatnot show and there's nobody on the screen, it's like, where you at? Be on the screen. Um, yeah, just be prepared. You're gonna stumble through if it's your first show, but just be confident in what you're doing and be engaging with the chat. Put those giveaways up there. Get people in there. Um, you know, get shout outs to your friends, people that you know in the community. Get them to tag in the show. Um, and it'll build from there.
Yeah. Um, exactly. For the first
How
show,
did
sell items or set. Go ahead.
I
How
was
did your
reading
first
that.
show go?
Yeah.
My first show, I actually recorded it, so you can watch it on YouTube. Everything leading up to the first show, even after the first show, and so it's on YouTube. The Nashville Flippers on YouTube. I have my first show that I recorded, and it's my like number one watched YouTube video of all time. So if you guys want to go and watch it, the Nashville Flippers on YouTube, I give you a step by step what I did, like setting up before the setup that I have, how it went, and even a fee breakdown of it at the end. So super great video. Really, if you want to understand how the whatnot fees work, it's a perfect video for you to watch. I'm actually gonna probably do a new video with a fee breakdown here soon. So
Yeah,
what do
my
you think
first
about
show,
silent shows?
I had been engaged a lot in the community before I did my first show. I went into several shows. I chatted, in there. I had very good support and I built up to that first show. Um, of course, both Ray and we have um YouTube presence out there as well. YouTube channels and stuff that did help a little bit to get it out there that was going to do the show. um, but the first show was very well attended, and a lot of people, a lot of friends, bought stuff just in support. I know a lot of those people really didn't need that stuff, but they just bought in support. So if you're engaging and you have a good following and people know you, again, tag them, when your show starts or whatever, and get them in there. Someone said they were too ugly. Hey, Jules. Yeah,
Hey, Jules.
no, I don't know, Jules, but I'm guessing that you just think you're too ugly. But there's a lot of people that do shows that are never on the camera.
Correct.
They have it front facing, and they're just showing the items that they have. Um, you don't have to be on camera. Eventually, you probably want to be. I think those shows are more engaging when you can see the person, when you can feel their emotion and see their reaction to things. But you do not have to be on camera to do a show and be successful.
hmm Ken's YouTube channel is SSK Promo. Same here. He does. He's on a reselling podcast called Unemployed for a Living. So check that out. And he does a live show every Wednesday called Ken versus 10. So check that out as well. He's also a recurring guest on our podcast this week in reselling.
Yeah,
So check out that the Nashville Flippers on YouTube. So yeah, we got some great whatnot related videos on both of our YouTube channels. So check that out. Let's see here. I'm going to look at that after the stream. Let's see. I'm launching in late June vintage and antiques. How many items do you both suggest listing? As many as you want to sell. The good thing about you listing a lot of items, if they don't sell, you can actually clone the items from one show to another show. And so you don't have to
yes.
list them again. So I definitely need to make a YouTube video about that because I think that's a game changer that people didn't know they can do that. So it's super easy to
Yeah.
do. If items don't sell on one show, you can go ahead and book, create another show, and you can take those items and move them to your new show. How do you clone? I'm thinking about the shipping aspect. It's easy. It's super easy. So
Yeah.
it's easy to clone too.
Sell as many items. I would have more items listed than less items. Because if your show gets well attended and there's a lot of people there, you want to keep that momentum going and you want to sell. You want to sell. If the shipping is a concern about how much time it's going to take you to ship, that you have to take into consideration. But you're doing this to sell stuff. So you're better off having more items than you think you're going to sell, than just limiting it. That's my opinion anyway.
hmm Okay, so I'm going to show you actually how to clone your items. Well, I gotta find a show that has items to clone. Let's see here.
Oh, you selling out every time, huh?
I think if you don't keep here we go. Perfect. I got one. Okay, cool. Let me show you guys. So I'm going to show you how to clone items. You have to do this on your PC. So here we are again. We're at the home page of Whatnot. You're going to go over to your little icon over here in the corner. You're going to click on that. You're going to go to shows. And so this will be the show that you just ended, for example. Since I don't have a show that just ended with items, I'm going to go to my past shows, which is actually good that you can do that as well. And I'm going to go to a show that I knew that I had some stuff left over. So this is the dollar Oop, what happened here? The dollar electronic blowout show right here. And I'm going to click on this button that says clone items. Okay. And that's going to show you all the items that I had listed for that show. Okay. And so you can cherry pick the ones that you want, or you can hit on select all. Oh, first of all, you have to click on the show that you wanted to clone your items to.
Yeah.
So these are all the shows that you have to sched. You have to have a scheduled show before you can clone your items. So you click on the show, and then from there you can select the items that you want to clone, and then just go down there and clone your items. And all the items are going to go to the show that you selected. Super easy to do. Super easy to do. Game changer. So
Yeah. It is. It is very much. And then the question was about cloning. How many times do you keep cloning an item before people are sick of seeing it? Well, hopefully your audience is growing each week. And each show, if you do a
yeah.
show at a different time or a different uh that you're going to get new people that haven't seen that before. Eventually, you can't, just you're just beating a dead horse. That's not, if the item's not selling after a couple of shows, 3 shows, move along from it. But it doesn't hurt to have it in your show in the auction tab, because somebody might come
Yeah.
in and they might pre-bid on it, or they might say, "Hey, can you run this item?" Something that's been there. I do a lot of shows that are what they call like a curated show. I'm doing all blankets or all tumblers or all Disney or all, of one type of style of items. And so cloning those don't always go over. I'm not going to clone my electronic shows over to my all Disney show. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually items are just, if you've got it down, you can clone it again, you can lower the price, you can do whatever. But normally after it's ran a couple times, 3 times maybe, I'm just gonna move along from it.
Yeah. So a couple more questions on here, Ken. About cloning is a show. Okay, we read that. My listing items sell randomly while I'm not live. Yeah, that's a good thing about Whatnot too. That you can list your items and your buy it now.
Yes.
That you can sell just like you do eBay. So super cool. So can you add your account on multiple devices? Yes, I actually have my account on 3 or 4 devices. So my phone, my home computer, my office computer,
Yes.
iPad is good. If you do your show and you're the only one doing it, I would recommend that you just do it on your phone and not like fiddle with the computer. Like your first one, just so you kind of get it to kind of figure out where everything is. Now, once you get seasoned, then maybe you can bring out another phone, an iPad, or a computer, just kind of make things a little easier. But that's my recommendation. I don't know about you, Ken.
Yeah, I was going to say kind of the opposite because it works for me. I broadcast the phone from my show, but I also have the computer right there, and I'm pinning
But that's when
items and
I'm saying
stuff.
like when you're first starting off, like your first show.
Yeah, if you're first
Like once
starting
you're
off, yeah,
seasoned, I would definitely recommend that you have two
yeah,
devices.
you to deal with on your first show, trying to watch the chat, trying to be engaging in the chat, trying to pin an item, trying to
Yes.
learn something, trying to get going. That Yeah, just dealing with one device is good advice.
The chat is the lifeblood of Whatnot. Always
Yes,
address the chat.
yes.
The chat,
Welcome
they're
people
here
in.
for you. Yes, they're
When
here
you
for
see them,
you.
welcome
Hey,
people
Jules
in.
says, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Hey, Jules says, is there
You
a
do.
lag?
No.
Okay. Jules says, is an item or and it's an exact copy of an item. Exact copy. Exact copy. How do you find out who pre bid? I can't figure. You can't find out who did it. It'll just say pre bid. There's a pre bid on your item, and you can run it, and then it'll just have the bid that they bid on. You don't know who it is until you start the item, right, Ken?
I I believe so. You know what? I'd have to look at that because I think sometimes
Yeah,
you can see it after it starts running, but I don't think you can see it before.
before, yeah. So curated means so like Ken does a lot of curated shows, which means like every show has a specific like theme. So like
Yeah.
a T-shirt battle, a Disney show. Ken likes to do like he just did like a thermos show, or what was it, like a Stanley
Like
show?
tumblers,
Like
yeah, all
you wouldn't
tumblers.
want to sell Pokemon cards on like a Stanley show.
Yeah.
So should your first live be only one category? It depends, right? It depends.
Yeah, if you're selling, if you have everything, if you have you have clothing and you have You know, Pokemon, you have electronics, you have video games, you have media. Sell it all on one show. Yeah, you don't have to be
Hmm.
sell all one thing or one type of thing. Um, that you know, if you watch, uh, you know, we were talking about Paul there earlier. A lot of his shows are just random items. There are all kinds of stuff that he finds, but he also does specific jewelry shows. He did tonight. He
Hmm.
was doing all fabric shows, um, and so you know he does specific shows. But then and so I wouldn't say on your first show if you really want to highlight all the type of stuff that you have that you get that you're going to be bringing. Run it all.
Yeah, yeah. I have a hard time keeping up with the chat during my shows. I have my husband help me. How can I fit in watching chat and selling? It's hard. So I think it does help having a second person there, just kind of addressing like the chat, you know, or being like, "Hey, so and so said this," read their comment, you know. Especially the one thing that you never want to do if someone tips you and you never acknowledge that person for tipping you, that's like a no.
Yeah.
That's a huge no. That like because sometimes you're busy doing other stuff and the tip comes through and you don't see it. Man, how terrible would you feel like if you tip somebody and they never acknowledge the tip? So, how do you figure out which items to sell? It depends on who wants to buy what, right? Like,
Yeah,
what
it's
do your buyers want to buy?
yeah, what the buyers wanna buy, what items that you the best items to sell are the ones you have. Just you know,
Hmm. Yeah, there you go.
there's some categories on here that are much better than others, but you never know who's going to be in that show. I've done shows where I've had items that's like, "Oh man, this thing's gonna sell boom right away," and I get no bids. And I have other stuff that I just brought along or whatever, and it's like it's bid, it gets up there. It just depends who's in the show at that time, how you're pitching it, how much you are engaged with the audience, and you know, building that hype. You gotta It's like watching QVC. I'll watch QVC
Hmm.
and they'll showing a product, and you know, in 10 minutes I'm like, I absolutely have to have that women's size medium button down sweater vest. It's like, what the hell do I need that for? But it's they just pull you in, and that's what you got to do. It's not all the items; it's also the seller that helps.
Correct, correct. They're asking, can you cancel runs? You can't cancel it. You can cancel an item when it sells when you're going to ship it, but that's kind of a no too. Like cancel the item, especially if it's sold and you don't like the price that it's sold for. You can cancel it, but I think it hurts your metrics in the long run. So just be aware of that. But once you run the item, you can't hit like stop once it's running. When it's running, it's running. So
What's up, Blazing Bunny is
Blazing
here.
Bunny. Blazing
Yes,
Bunny. Look at that. Is there a better time of day do you have your first live? It's whatever works for you, right, Ken?
yes. Whenever you have the time, that's one of the most common questions that I see in every Q&A show. When's the best time to do my show? There are there are prime times to do it, in the evenings, and, you know, sometimes they're a little better than in earlier in the day, but everybody's doing shows then. You gotta pick a time that works for
Yeah.
you that you can be consistent with. Um, Again, like, I
Because
usually do
since
my shows
yes.
on Friday at 6 PM. People start to get to know, "Hey," and then when I don't do a show on a Friday at 6 PM, people are contacting and they're saying, "Hey, is everything okay? You know, what where were you? Where were you? I was looking for this show." You know, like Ray said, he does his on Saturday. He's looking to change that. But the best time is whatever is the best time for you to be able to have a comfortable amount of time frame because the show might go longer. It might go a couple of hours or more, depending on what you're selling and how many and how engaged you are and how fun and the show is. And then you got to consider that shipping too. If you're going to ship, can you
Yeah.
ship that stuff the next day? Do you have time? Do you work full time? If you're doing those shows on the weekends or like a Friday or a Saturday, that naturally just gives you a couple extra days uh, because it goes by business days. If you do a show on Friday, you actually have until Monday to ship that because Monday is the next business day.
Hmm. That's why the Saturdays work for me the best because I can sell the items on a Saturday. Sunday I'm shipping, and the Monday they're hitting the post office. So in and out. So how do you figure out which items had the pre-bid? When you go to your auction tab in your shop, it'll say pre-bid already on it. All the other ones won't say anything, but that one will say
Yeah.
pre-bid if there's a pre-bid. And
They've actually
encourage the chat. Encourage the chat. So you come on here, all your items are already listed. You're like, hey guys, how's it going? All the items are already pre-listed. If you like anything, go ahead and drop a pre-bid on there. I'll take a look at it and we can go ahead and run that item. And so even if they put a pre-bid and they have to step away from whatnot, like let's say they close out the app and they're making dinner or whatever, because they put the pre-bid, they'll get a notification saying the item that they put the pre-bid in
Yeah.
is running. So if somebody else is bidding up against them, they can get back on the app real quick and start bidding. So that's what I always like to encourage the people saying, hey, if you like the item, go ahead and put a pre-bid in. So if you step away, you can come back. It'll let you and notify you and come back. So
Yeah. And one of the features that
Whatnot does
Whatnot
not take
added,
any percentage of tips.
yeah, that's great too. You get if
It's a
somebody
hundred
tips you
percent.
five
It's a
bucks,
hundred
you
percent.
get all $5.
You get all of it. Yeah. So
One of the things back to the pre-bids thing, there is now a Whatnot added this. It's been a little bit ago, but they didn't have it before. There is a pre-bid tab when you're in your auction that you can click on and it'll
oh, that's right.
show you in the listing of just all of the items that are pre-bid on. So you can go to that tab, you can run through those if you want, or
Bye,
during your
Lisa.
show, just keep checking back on that pre-bid tab.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Enjoy your dinner, Lisa.
Haven't been tipped yet. If I missed it, would send them a message at least. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I can't remember in the shipping profile if you can see who tipped you or not. I can't remember.
It's not in the shipping profile, but there is a tab for tips that'll show you the
Okay,
tips in order that you received them, which show it was in, and how much they tipped you.
gotcha. My first night here was last night. I couldn't believe how many people were shopping at 3 a.m. I'm telling you guys, some people work different schedules. People are shopping from
Yes.
all over the world, different, time zones. So you just never know who's on here. So there was at least 30 people on the most shows and buying some. That's what I'm saying. And some people
Yeah.
just get on there just to find the deals
Yes.
because there's less people. I've seen items running, and when it's countdown, I see the clock reset when another bidder comes in. Is that automatic, or is there? It is automatic, but you can turn it off, which that means it's sudden death. So sudden death means the clock will not restart. And when you're running the item in auction, you can actually set the time, set the seconds of how many seconds you want it to restart. I think it's 15, 10, and 5, right? Or 10, 5, and
Uh,
3 seconds. Something
three,
like that.
3, 5, 7, and 10 is what at least what I see
Okay.
in the
Gotcha.
immediate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can change that, and it's good because you can, if you run it and people are gonna keep bidding, even if you're running the item for like you start at 10 seconds, shoot, depending on the item, it could take 2 minutes, 3 minutes for the auction to end if people are continuously bidding up against each other, and that's a great thing. So, sudden death is like when you're okay, when the time's up, it's up. So
Yes.
it's not going to reset. So, how long should you set the seller ticker for? It depends on what it is, the item. If it's a big item, I usually do 30 seconds. If it's something that, if I'm opening up Pokemon cards and it's all Pokemon cards, 10 seconds. Especially if you know that the item's going to reset or the clock will reset like once people bid. So
Yeah.
we'll look for the pre-bid tab. How do you get on the show Ray Train thing? I'm gonna probably do a Facebook group, and then we'll go from there. So I
Yeah.
haven't
And
seen that yet on my phone. I'm not getting all the tabs yet. It should be on there.
if you
You
are,
have to sudden death. You have to when you're listing the item. You have to click on like turn sudden death on or something like that, or turn the option on. Pretty much. If you just hey Joel says the sudden death more is something you want to get rid of. That or you just it's gonna do well and you just it's in like an enticing, all right guys, it's gonna be sudden death. So go ahead and put the bid. Go ahead and put the bid in,
yeah.
It's not gonna restart. So you don't have time. The
Yeah.
person doesn't have time to think about bidding or not gonna bid or whatever.
There's a whole psychology to that about
Mm-hmm.
the sudden death versus just the auction that's gonna keep adding time if somebody's on there. It depends on how you present your show, how you do your show, what kind of hype you've got going on, if it's entertainment, if you're trying to move through a bunch of items quickly. Um, but yeah, sudden death is like you got to get in there, you got to get in, you got to swipe because when it ends, it ends. You don't get a second chance, and that can build a lot of hype for an item.
There's so many things to remember. I feel like you don't have to remember everything. It comes with reps, right? Just that's why I don't just take it easy. You don't have to. The people will help you. The people will help you for sure. So first thing, if I click on your profile and I go to your profile, I don't see any shows scheduled. So that's the number one mistake. If you're gonna do a show, even if it's a month away, go ahead and schedule the show, so people can go ahead and bookmark the show. So don't schedule a show right before you're going to do a show. Go ahead and schedule the show.
Yes, get bookmarks build up.
So right now you have all these people in here wanting to help you and support you, and you have no show scheduled. I can't bookmark the show. Once me and Ken are off, I'm probably not going to think about it anymore.
Yeah,
Like support you, I'm going to be like, oh, what was the name of that person? No clue. So I could have went
great.
and bookmarked your show. Yeah. So
Great advice. Especially, when I talked about people always ask about how to build followers or how to get people to their shows. If you are in chats and you are being engaged and you're talking and other people, with people comment on what other people are commenting on, and they'll click on your name and they'll go to your profile. And if they see nothing, just like Ray said, if there's not something scheduled, especially your first show, get that one scheduled. You can always move it. You can always move. If you schedule a show for this Wednesday at 8 o'clock and it doesn't work out and you got to move it to Saturday, just go in and edit and move it. But having something for people to click on when you are engaged with them that's a great tip, Ray.
yeah, schedule your show, and you can see how many people bookmark your show. I'll have a number counter on there. So,
Yes.
but make just be aware bookmarks don't necessarily like transfer into buyers. So letting you know that. So, but the more people that you have on your show, the more
Yes.
the more possibility that people will buy. So, don't
Yes.
be afraid of whatnot, especially if you're afraid on eBay. It's way better. So Hell's Hellums says I haven't applied for this, to be a seller yet. Any recommendations to get approved or just do it? Here's my recommendation. Go over to my YouTube channel, the Nashville Flippers on YouTube. Look at the Whatnot tutorials. I have a link on there. If you click on the link, you'll automatically get approved. Okay? So click on the link to become a seller and you'll automatically get approved. So because it's like my
Yes.
referral link. So and if you guys have never purchased anything on there on Whatnot, you can click on the other link, you'll get a free $15. I get a little money in return. So we're just helping each other. So can you see how many, yeah, you can see how many bookmark. I have one scheduled. It'll be on my EUC along with my new items. What is that?
Excellent used condition along with new items.
Gotcha. So I see your. Also, if you're gonna do a show, I would recommend that the the bookmarks, or excuse me, the thumbnails, the picture that you're using to be on the show, have it be something along the lines of what you're selling. So I know that it's a picture of you, eBay. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. We love you, but we don't know what you're selling. So to use that picture, you can also upload a video. So just kind of like scan what you're going to be selling so people can see it. That's another great tip for you. So stay right there. I'm going to do it right now. Don't leave. I'm right here. So I bookmarked your show, eBay. So we're good to go. I've
Yep.
been given a promotional gift from Whatnot, but haven't used it. So yeah, I would use it. Like I would use it, especially well, maybe down the road. So I'm also typing in the YouTube chat, Ken, if you're
Oh,
watching me.
okay.
Wes, yeah, Wes Flippers is on the YouTube. But
What's up, YouTube?
yeah. Uh, what's up, Wes? Wes asks, what about selling live on eBay? I haven't experienced selling. I think eBay missed the boat.
Yeah.
You
And
think
that
eBay missed the
they
boat on
do
live selling?
have their eBay Live, and I seen they added a little tab for that now, but they're so exclusive about the sellers on there, and they really want to do that, those collectibles, those comic books, coins, sports cards, that sort of stuff. Um, I've tried to watch a couple of shows, and it's like, no thanks. I enjoy
Hmm.
the community here and whatnot a lot more, because it is engaging. The number of friends that I've made on here, and then the number of friends that I got to meet at, like, say, a meetup, the Nashville meetup that was just about a month or so ago. Um, it
Hmm.
just becomes
Damn,
a
that's crazy.
community of friends.
It was literally a month ago. That's crazy. It seems like it was like forever ago.
Okay, let's go see what Hey Jules is about. Let me see.
I bookmarked. I
Shows
bookmarked it. I bookmarked it. Yeah.
right now
I have
on
10
her
days to
next
use,
show.
but since I'm new, eBay,
She
I
has
would get on I would get on here every day. I would get on there every day if I was you. And then when you're ready, go ahead and start selling. I would go to the meetup. I would We already had it. So stay tuned for next year. We had 200 people there. So, yeah, we bookmarked Hey Jules. We're bookmarked. We're
Yep.
bookmarked.
She has
So,
14 on
but
her
guys, we won't
14
keep you.
bookmarks on the next show.
Yeah, we're not gonna keep you guys on here for. We're done. We're done. So, thank you guys so much for coming on. Again, check out. I have great YouTube videos explaining some stuff on there. Go check us out, the Nashville Flippers. We do a reselling podcast that's going to help you. Ken versus 10 on Wednesday. Follow him. I'd like to do Pokemon shows on Tuesday, electronic shows on the weekends. So when is your next show, Ken? Plug away.
Yeah, I'm not sure when my next whatnot show is. Hell, it might even end up to be tomorrow night, like it's scheduled. But definitely doing some shows in next week. Yeah, again on YouTube, Ken versus 10. But I do want to shout out here, Diddles. Everybody go in. Diddles did
Diddles.
schedule that first show,
Diddles
so
scheduled her first show. Let's see.
I was the first bookmark. So
Oh,
go.
my first show at 6 a.m.
What time
There we
zone is
go.
that? Well,
Diddles,
that's
we got
probably
it.
7 a.m. mine.
Well, she'll probably change it, but we just wanted to make. I'm up at 4.
Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah. So, okay. So we have a question coming in through the YouTube chat. So I just
Okay.
want to answer that before we get out of here. Sherry Gibson says, "Can you explain how we get on a raid train? I'm a newer seller going to have my 7th show on Sunday, 5 a.m. and 1 p.m. This is Mimi with three gen treasures. Mimi, I'm probably going to start a Facebook group with about new sellers getting on a raid train. So we'll do that. Um, and then you just have to be part of the community. Follow Ken.
Yeah.
Another one to follow is my boy Jack's Treasures. He does a bunch of raid trains. So I think I'm going to start this new seller raid train. I think it's going to be a good way to just be part of the
Yeah.
community. Hopefully everybody can help each other out.
If you are watching raid trains on YouTube and you see that they're reoccurring, reach out to the person that hosts them. Just say, "Hey, I'm
Yes.
interested in being on that." We had talked earlier, Cassandra. I can't think of her full name. Cassandra. She does that a new seller train. CG Boomerang Echo. That she
Terrible name.
organizes tons of. It's like CEE underscore GE and then Boomerang
Yeah,
Echo.
that needs to be
She
changed. That's
schedules
terrible.
tons of raid trains. You just have to be engaging in the community, reach out to people that are doing raid trains in the categories, in the like items that you sell, that you have, um, and just reach out to people and be engaging, and you'll either get invited or there are websites and stuff that you can go to where you can sign up for different raid trains. I don't know what there
Oh,
are now, but I know that CG does a lot of
okay.
those.
Well, go ahead and bookmark the Q&A seller support show for next week at the same time. By that time, I'm going to have the Facebook group up and running. And so you guys can sign up. And, I don't know how many people will do it. I don't know when. And we'll go from there. But we'll get it
Cool.
together. Even if it's just me, a new seller, me, a new seller, we can do it that way. Or maybe Ken wants to jump on or some other people. We'll figure it out. So
Yes.
we'll make the Facebook group come next week. I'll advertise it. You guys can join, and we'll go from there. All right. Anything else for the people, Ken?
Nope, I'm good. This is great. I love these shows that you're doing. The Q&A.
Thank
It's
you, Ken,
great
for
to
coming
help
on.
people to answer questions. And yeah, bookmark next Thursday show here, and it's great fun. I appreciate you having me pop on with you.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it because Ken's awesome on here. So make sure you follow Ken. And thank you guys so much. Make sure to follow and subscribe to SSK Promo down here. Follow and subscribe
Great.
to Nashville Flippers on Whatnot on YouTube. Listen to the podcast This Week in Reselling. Listen to the podcast Unemployed for a Living. And that's it. Love you guys. We're going to raid into somebody. All right. That's
That,
something that you
oh,
guys should always do.
yes.
Go ahead.
That's a great tip right there. That's the ending tip. Never just end your show. Find somebody either that you know or somebody's and raid into them every
Yes.
time. That's another great way to build followers and build the community.
Yes. So we're going to raid into Flippin' Mimi or Fiona Fines, Ken.
Oh, Mimi's going to be a big crowd with a lot of good giveaways and stuff.
Let's
Fiona
do it.
is going to be a little more low key but fun. Um, uh,
Let's go with Mimi.
yeah, let's hit Mimi. Let's hit Mimi.
All right. See you guys. Take care.
Good night,
How do you
everybody.
go to the podcast? Listen to it on YouTube. This Week in Reselling.